Hi, let's get started. Our first drawing today, we're going to work on the human head. And again, we're going to be using circles and lines. There's a couple of different ways to draw the human head. And again, you might pick up one or the other or come up with your own style. And also, I'll be showing you placement of lines. But again, there are different ways to draw them. Different artists will show you different proportions. But you might set on one yourself and be happy with that. So the first thing we do, again, there's two different ways you can draw the human head to start. I sometimes start with a circle and then come in with kind of a U shape below it to show a jaw line or where it might be placed. Sometime in the future, you might try and draw the head at a different angle. So the jaw, this U shape moves around, and now you might be looking really over the back of somebody's head like this, okay? But to start, we're going to be doing head-on, and what you want to do is draw a center line, come in with lines for where the eyes are going to be and the bottom of the nose, and your mouth is generally right about there. I'm drawing with a marker today to show up better on the video, but as you draw with pencil, you can erase these lines and move them around, of course. It's also very important when you're drawing, don't carve into the paper, okay? People that are sketch artists, they even come back and they'll stand with the pencil almost the very back of it in their hand and just, sketch like this and do their drawings. That's good too. But it's most important that you don't draw real hard because you might have to erase that later. So you want to draw in your lines to get started for your eyes, and you come off what you feel is a nice distance away from that because you're going to have to leave room for a nose. Eyes typically might be drawn with a line going up at an angle, about a 45-degree angle, and then a longer line coming down. And then this looks like it even gets repeated. This line, this first segment, might get repeated a little bit over here at the far end, and then this line might get repeated coming back up. So you have almost a shape like that. So we're going to draw in our first eye here, and you come over about the same distance. If you're drawing straight on, you come about the same distance over again. You draw your one angle line there and another long sweeping one to finish the top of the eye, and then come back with a shorter line at an angle and another sweeping line here. Again, short, longer, short, longer. And you might find, as you draw, well, I'm going to do that differently. That's fine. Next, you want to probably draw in lightly where the iris will be or the cornea. And that's going to be, you won't really draw like this. You don't necessarily put a whole circle in there unless you're showing surprise. Typically, when you draw that, it's going to be the top of the eye will actually disappear beyond that top line. So your iris or cornea is really just like the bottom portion, the bottom majority of that circle. For the nose, we don't really necessarily draw a heavy line. We don't necessarily want to do this kind of thing, unless you want to become a cartoonist, which is fine too. What we want to do is start with maybe just a touch of a line just to place it on the page. And a lot of this, you'll find later that a lot of the work around the nose is mostly shadow. And it's not really hard lines like this again. At this line here where we've drawn, we want to just do kind of a suggestion of maybe almost like a V shape with a soft bottom. Nothing, not like that necessarily, but just kind of a softer bottom. And then you're going to come up and draw the flares for the nostrils, and that's kind of almost like a J shape, like this. We're coming out like this, all right? So we've got this almost U-V-shaped we formed here, and now this J, okay? And coming back over here, there's another J, almost like a fish hook too. All right, so we'll do that on both sides, all right? And then we've drawn our first J like that and another one over here like this. And we can finish it off almost with another J. We don't want to go up too high and again too dark. So we have almost two J shapes hooked together at the tips. All right, so that's the start of the nose. You'll see that the nose, the dark recesses, the inside of the nose, you can fill those in a little bit. Not too heavy. You don't want to come all the way down to the bottom and just draw a line, that doesn't look too natural, like that. But just keep a little bit of that fish hook, that J showing. All right, and then this part just under your nose, I don't know how many of you will know this offhand, that little dip right below your nose is called a philtrum. Maybe that's good for a barbet, I don't know. But that won't be dug in real hard either with the pencil or pen or marker, whatever you're using. You'll see that too, if we were to draw it here, basic, just to give you an idea where it is. A lot of this is shadow again, all right? If the sun is over, if your light source is up here somewhere, this is going to be darker. And then this bit of it, closest to the light source, is going to be a little bit in shadow too, because it does dip, it is concave.